So we're now moving on to the muscles of the anterior and lateral abdominal walls. So the first structure I want to point out is going to be the linea alba. And so this is going to be this kind of straight white line that is going to be down the center of the abdomen. Okay, this is going to kind of run from the xyloid process all the way down to the pubic symphysis. Okay, and it's going to kind of be the convergence zone of the aponeurosis of the abdominal muscles. Okay, then I want to point out kind of our first layer of muscles. And so these are going to be the external abdominal oblique muscles. Okay, and so this oblique term kind of means on an angle. And so these muscles are going to have their fibers running on a slight angle kind of down towards the midline. Okay, so these again are the external abdominal oblique. Okay, we're now going to hide those. And our next layer is going to be our internal abdominal oblique. Okay, so these ones are going to have their fibers kind of running towards the midline. Okay, so internal abdominal oblique. We'll now remove that layer. Okay, and our next layer are going to be, I'm going to talk about the sides first. These are going to be the transverse abdominis. Okay, so these transverse muscles are going to be running kind of toward the midline, and they're running in the opposite direction or perpendicular to the direction of our rectus abdominis muscles that are in the center. So when we tend to think of abdominal muscles, I think most people tend to think of these rectus abdominal muscles. They have kind of these little square packages of muscle that some people, you can actually see them from the outside, not me. And these muscles are going to kind of have, rectus means straight, and so the muscle fibers are going to run straight up and down. Between the different parts of the actual muscle, you're going to have these structures called the tendinous intersection. Okay, so we have a tendinous intersection here, 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 and then on the other side as well. So these are the spots where we have kind of tendon in between the muscle. So here we have the external oblique, and we are showing trunk flexion. Okay, so this is kind of like if you're standing up and doing sort of a sit-up motion. So you're compressing the abdomen and flexing the vertebra. Here we're going to have a rotation of the trunk laterally. And here we have the external oblique, and it's flexing the trunk laterally. Okay, so this is kind of like if you're standing up and doing a side crunch motion, this is going to be kind of that lateral flexion. All of the muscles that we're talking about are going to compress the abdominal wall. And so here we have just the rectus abdominis highlighted, but you can see the other muscles that are involved as well. So again, this kind of flexion or compression of the abdomen is going to kind of be sort of like doing a sit-up, that motion.